test on power drills. But Mr. K brought me some of these right here, and so it's worth showing you in the yard. This is called a self-feeding auger bit. And this is a different style than what we're used to. Okay? It's a good style, and these are really good self-feeding auger bits. What makes them self-feeding is there's a little, it looks like a screw on the end of that. Okay? And as long as that screw, still looks like a screw, still performs like a screw, and that all these cutting edges are sharp, this will cut really well. Okay? It will cut better than a spade bit. This right here probably costs $2.50, maybe $3. It's a very inexpensive way to drill a lot of holes and drill them quite fast. This one is designed. Mr. K is going to get a different self-feeding auger. This right here, this self-feeding auger bit, is probably going to last longer because it costs more money, probably because it has a little better tempering to it, and it has 3 cutting edges. This one has, I call them flutes or cutting edges. It has 2 little cutting edges. As it spins, it's going to cut. This one right here, as it spins, it has 3 cutters. But that little screw tip on it is actually going to pull the drill bit into the wood. And if it's sharp, as fast as that drill rotates and as fast as that little screw tip can pull it in, is as fast as those wood chips are going to fly out of it.
And it's
pretty impressive.
Those are self-cleaning also.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. I mean, when you drill, like if you were going to drill through this tabletop here, which is basically pine, you have a brand new one. Those chips are it's like water flow. They're just rolling right out. So there's a good quality of these, so I'm going to pass that around. And Mr. K, while we're doing the test here, we'll bring out another self-feeding auger. Okay, we did number 1, but I'm going to repeat it. It's okay for the chuck key to be left in the drill during the drill operation. This happens more so not on a handheld drill, more on a stationary drill bit, a drill press. Okay, for some reason, the drill is usually hanging off of a little chain. The chuck is, and you put it in there, and you just get busy doing something else, and turn it on, and boom. Eventually, everybody seems to do it. So, but I would advise you not to do it. If you do it, make sure your fingers aren't even close to that drill. The end of that drill, because that thing is it's going to wind the cord up. It's going to wind anything and everything up, including your fingers, when that thing turns on. Okay, number 2. When feeling resistance from the drill, do not force the drill into the work. Okay. Now, if you have a dull drill bit, that makes life pretty tough. You're going to feel a lot of resistance because that drill bit doesn't want to work its way through smoothly. So it would be unsafe to put more force on the drill. Work must be secured by a clamp or vise when working on small pieces. It's true or false, and that's true. If you have little tiny pieces, especially metal, welding class they make these coupons. If you have to drill in a piece of metal like that, and the drill bit catches in it, man, that's just like a Ginsu knife spinning around. Okay, same with wood. If you're drilling through a small piece of wood, it might not be like a knife, but it's sure going to beat you up if it starts spinning. So we've got clamps, all sorts of clamps that you can use to lock things down. Number 4, power tools with frayed cords are okay to use. That's a common sense one. Number 5, it's okay to change the drill bit while the drill is plugged into the power source. We would like you to unplug it, okay? Because you could be kind of hold the drill in an awkward way, and all of a sudden push that trigger down, and boom. Okay.
Just like when you're touching the blade on a saw, you gotta unplug it. You're gonna touch the bit.
It may only happen once in your lifetime. That may be just enough.
Now the battery operated ones, you can pull the battery out also.
Yeah, and there is a lock in here. If you push, there's a little safety device. If you push this safety device right here to the center, it won't turn on. It actually locks the trigger. That would be an alternative. And I didn't mention that if you push it one direction, you're forward. If you push it the other direction, you're in reverse. Okay, on these particular drills here. Okay. Cutting off the grounding prong on the power cord is okay. Okay. Our grounding prong is this right here. What happens is if you go in a house that's built sometime before the 60s, they only had 2 prongs on their outlets. So you get a 3-prong, how do you get it in there? Okay, you get all your tools, you're ready to do a remodel for some lady, and you go, oh darn, I can't plug any of my power equipment in. Have an adapter. They make an adapter, they're little tiny things. It takes the 3 prongs and converts it to a 2. Now, remember, you're not protected unless there's a GFCI somewhere amongst your power tools. Okay? So that eliminates the equipment ground when you do that. Okay, we have a set here. It looks very similar. This is more of a Forstner. Okay?
I couldn't find out.
Okay. This is a Forstner set. This is pretty much a shop drill bit. And the reason you have this, and let me show you, there's no screw tip on this one, the Forstner. The reason there's no screw tip on it is because in the shop, sometimes you want to bore a hole and you want to stop boring that hole. Let's say you only need to go down 1/4 inch. Well, if you use this, you're not stopping it. It's going right through your board at a pretty fast rate. The Forstner bit, it doesn't have a screw tip on it. Okay? It just has a little tip, a screw on it, that will guide you to the center of where you want to go. Okay? But the regular self-feeding auger bit looks exactly like this. It has 2 cutter blades on it, but it has this screw tip. So it'll pull it through and it'll cut really, really well. So I'm going to pass this around. Realize it's a Forstner. If it had a screw tip on it, it would be a self-feeding. Okay? The operator should inspect the tool before using. Okay? One is to make sure the trigger's not locked in, make sure the cords are in good shape. Okay, they're not frayed. A lot of these come from the factory with only the 2 prongs on them, because like Mr. Lehman said earlier, that we're protected by a GFCI. And you guys, with exception to certain parts of the building, you're not protected by GFCI. At the house site, you're 100% protected by GFCI. Okay? The generator has GFCIs built into it. Our power block that we use has GFCIs built into it, and our power pole has GFCIs built into it. A spade bit can be used to drill into metal. No. Okay. You should keep both hands on the drill. Yep. True. Dull drill bits are okay, just push hard. False. High-speed twist drill bits are okay to use in metal and wood.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, with the exception that you may have to cool them by lubrication. Let the drill come to full speed before applying even and steady pressure. True. When drilling through metal, you will typically drill at slower speed, and when drilling through wood, you will drill at a higher speed. Okay, I see some heads nodding. True. Number 14, when using larger drill bits, you should select a drill with enough power and a drill that has a cheater handle to control the power. Okay, true. Number 15, when using power tools, the operator should be aware of the power cord, preventing the cord from being cut or wrapped around the drill bit. Okay? One thing I always think is funny, and then I think, oh crap, I just lost my insulation value in my house. So if you're drilling through the sheetrock and you have your standard house, there's insulation behind it. Well, the spade bit, when it hits insulation, what can you imagine it does?
Pulls it out.
Yeah, it wraps it up, and if you can pull it out, sometimes it looks like some cotton candy, especially if you have the Owens Corning paint. So when you're drilling through a wall, realize there's things behind there. Okay? There's wires behind this wall. Okay? There's plumbing behind this wall. There's gas pipes behind this wall. Okay? So if you're drilling, you're cutting up. Electrical, yeah. So realize that you should do an inspection before you walk up to this wall and go, oh, I'll just drill a hole right here. You might want to go on the other side. You might even want to go up into, there's a big crawl space up there. You might want to even go up in there and have your partner kind of tell you where to go, so you're not going to drill into anything. Because 2 reasons. One is safety. If you hit a gas pipe when nobody does anything to that gas pipe, you could blow up the whole building and kill people. You hit a water pipe, you could flood the whole building. And guess who's paying for it? You are. Okay? So it's not only to protect you safety-wise, it's also to protect you insurance-wise. Okay? When drilling into metal, the operator should use a metal punch to mark the drilling location and keep the drill bit from drifting off the mark. We didn't talk about that. Okay? If you were to put this down on metal, sometimes it's just going to walk around that metal. Okay? If you don't have a punch, what you can do is take a good nail, hit it, and as long as it makes a little dimple, that drill will follow that. Or you can take a screw, that's even harder. You can hit a screw, decking screw, and that'll make a little dimple. So you can follow, or that drill will follow your mark. Keeping your attention on your work is important. It's true. The number one rule in safety, the number one rule is safety first. Number 19, it's okay to leave a drill on the top of the ladder as long as you put it away at the end of the day. False. Do not leave anything on the ladder. If you come down off the ladder, everything comes down off the ladder. I don't care if there's a toolbox wired to the top of that ladder. I don't want you to leave anything up there. Typically the ladder has all these really fancy holes. Drills fit down in there. Screwdrivers fit down in there. Hammers will fit down in there. Do not leave anything on the top of those ladders. We lost 2 battery drills and a saw, all in 1 year, because students have left this time. I almost got hit right in the eyes by a drill that was left up there. When you take an extension or a step ladder, when you fold those legs in, and then you go to carry that ladder, you're pulling everything towards you and everything on the top of that ladder. And it's going to come down right about here. Most likely going to hit you. Number 20, operating power tools under the influence of drugs and alcohol is not permitted. Do not smoke your lunch. Do not drink your lunch.
Or breakfast.
What's that?
Or breakfast.
Yes. When drilling through metal over an 1/8 inch thick, you should use a lubricant to cool the drill bit. True. Okay, questions on our drills, on our drill bits, or on the test? Okay, same.